Oh man, what's up, everybody? First of all, I want to apologize. I did not take another picture, and I don't even know what our. I'm gonna go back on YouTube. I'm gonna go back out and come back in on you all. Okay, I apologize. What's up, everybody? We got you on TikTok. Got my people on YouTube. Hey, my name is Joaquin Loper, and hey, I'm one part of Blended and Winning, and so are you. Give you a little moment to come on in. Come on in. I'm gonna listen to a little music while you all come on in. What I've been listening to lately. Where you coming in from? Hey, thank you for being here, Jim Rat. Jim Rat said he saw the word accountability and he joined in. Thank you for that. Um, the scene that you're looking at right now is a little bit more prettier at times because I have my wife with me. But unfortunately, man, my wife is I ain't gonna say under the weather. She's dealing with a migraine headache from last night, and it's actually lingered throughout the day. She hasn't had one this bad in about 3 years. So unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to go on last night, like we had promised you all. But I want to come on today just to represent for us and speak from a man's point of view, husband, father, entrepreneur, young man. What's up? We have Illinois in the house, Chi-Town, Jamaica, Indiana. Somebody said I joined literally to hear "Get Out, Stacy." Well, I haven't told her to get out today. This is the first time in a long time I haven't told my wife to get out. Unfortunately, she is under the I ain't gonna say under the weather, but she's been dealing with a migraine headache, a severe migraine headache. Not sure if many of you all have ever had a migraine, but I hear they're pretty bad. The only thing she didn't do today was throw up. But come on in. So while I'm getting to it, we're gonna have my man David Williams and Taj, my daughter Taj on YouTube. They'll be moderating us on YouTube. Um, we'll probably have our girl D Clark Curry coming in on TikTok and our girl Ashley Stamps Graffiti. So do us a favor, come on in with some positivity. Come on in with love, and let's grow today. Where have we been? We supposed to been on last night, but we were doing some of our work as far as our purpose, and we ran over with the couple. We had to make sure our priorities are in line. But we did want to see you all last night. However, once we got off our last session, my wife was not feeling good. The camera lane is fuzzy. Let me wipe that up for you then. Hope that's better. All right, all right. What's up, Taj? I see you in there. What's up, T? We got T Park over on YouTube. Hey, let's go ahead and get started while we're waiting on everybody to come in. Once again, for one people that are just coming in, my name is Joaquin Loper. You all used to seeing me with my beautiful wife, Stacy Loper. However, she is dealing with a migraine headache that's been lingering all day. So I've literally made her stay in bed um, to feel better. So, hey, let's go ahead and jump into this thing. Um, if y'all would join me. Hey, Father God, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for bringing us back together. Lord, thank you for allowing us to see this beautiful day, Lord. Despite what's going on in our lives, Father God, we still give you reign over it. We invite you in to grow us, to groom us, to mold us, to make us to what you need us to be, Father God, to find our purpose and walk in it naked and unashamed. So as we speak tonight, Father God, hide us behind Calvary's cross and work through us. Allow my words to be from your throne and to touch the people's ears and their hearts. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, all right. Natasha Alexander, Columbia, Mississippi. I know exactly where you are, Natasha. And thank you for that. Thank you for that. The only thing I know how to do is be truthful and up front. Hey, look here. I am by myself tonight, so please, please, if I miss your comment, please charge it to my head, not my heart. It's not intentional. It's hard enough for us to keep up with the comments and the great questions that come through on TikTok and YouTube when we're both here together. So work with me here. So today is we're talking about accountability. That's what we were going to talk about last night, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So do me a favor, chime in with your comments for accountability right off the bat. Whether you're married, whether you're dating, whether it's accountability for whatever. I've dated at one time in my life. I'm married now. Accountability from a parent standpoint of view. Let's talk. Somebody said I want my last name back. Don't even get me started on my wife. That girl crazy. All right, got you, TV man. I pray everything works out in God's favor for you. Okay. So what's up? We got my man T Park over here in California. What's up, Terrence? Got my girl Taj over there. Where are we located? We're located in Birmingham, Alabama. Somebody say important no matter what. That's right. Look, being accountable is big. From the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, it's about being accountable. It's about being accountable for your word. One thing I've been big on, and my uncles groomed me to be from a young man. Even in our mistakes, we were always taught that let your word be your word. Be accountable for your position and your word. It's me as a husband now. It doesn't make any sense for me when I was working a job, working corporate America and everything, to go into a business that I'm making money for. They could fire me at any time, and I do the things that they want me to do because that's how they've told me to do them. However, I will go home and I would promise my wife something, and then I wouldn't fulfill that promise because I wasn't being accountable. That doesn't make sense to me. I believe in being accountable. If I tell my wife I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Or if it can't be done in a timely manner that I explained it on her or told to her, I make sure I tell her, hey, baby, this is what's going on. That's what's being accountable about. See, first of all, my wife didn't ask me to marry her. As y'all know the story of my wife. Y'all know what I am. I'm 11. Um, to propose. My wife did not ask me to marry her. I, as a man, chose to marry her. So therefore, when she says yes to my question, that makes her accountable or me accountable for her to God. That means, ooh, thank you. That means I'm accountable for everything that comes with her past, her issues, her flaws, her weaknesses, her strengths, all of those things. And yep. When I wasn't being the husband that I thought I could be, I had to be held accountable for that to my wife. But guess what? Being accountable means I had to humble myself and say, hey, what must I do, or what can I do to be a better husband for you? What can I do to be your husband? So being accountable means you have to humble yourself and get ready to grow. Being accountable means swallowing your pride and saying, I know I'm a man, but I'm not a husband yet. And then your manhood is still going to grow and be challenged. Oh man, y'all ain't ready for this. And I'm gonna tell you something. The only way I can do the things I've done, my wife had to have patience with me and she had to be a good teacher. We had to have some conversation, some accountability conversation. Hey, why'd you make that move? Why'd you say that? Why'd you do that? Sometimes we internalize things and we're just not accountable for our words. Prime example. My wife was her head was hurting so bad last night. All she could do was cry and hold her head. And all I could do was sit there. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a big baby now with her. All I could do was sit there and cry with her and pray for her. With my hand on her head, my hand on her stomach, and sit there and pray for her. Get her the medicine that she needed, um, and rub on her leg. That's being accountable. See, one thing about being accountable, your accountability shows up in the times when it's bad the most. Yeah, anybody can be accountable when things are going good. But what do you do when things are not going your way? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's accountable that I represent what blended winning means, even when my wife is not here. I hope she's on. She was actually my wife is upstairs right now in the bed. Um, Me and the kids actually went and got something to eat for the family. I didn't feel like cooking today, so we went out and got some fish and stuff for her. So she was just finishing up eating. I hope she's on live. She's probably on either. I hope she's on YouTube or TikTok. Hey Taj. Hey Candice. What's up, Miss Oliver? Yep. So ask any questions, man. It's about being accountable. What does accountability look like to you? That's big. Because a lot of times people have accountability, but they don't realize that their accountability may be bleak compared to someone else's definition of accountability. I'll make sure y'all tell everybody. I mean, I will make sure that I tell Stacy that you are asking about her and praying for her. Definitely will. Yeah, when I'm gonna tell you something. Being accountable means that even to the point I love my wife so much, and I want to help her out in every way I can in any situation. But last night are times when, man, when my wife hurts, I hurt. Period. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something. I was the king. I don't know many people that can make up or give you a reason of why I made the mistakes I made. I used to be the king at it. Yeah, I was gonna make sure that um, my decision making wasn't based on what I want to do. It was based on something that you did. That was my excuse pattern when I first got married because that's what I was used to. You bag me in a corner. I'm gonna make sure it's not about me. See, when you become fully accountable, and I'm gonna say this, someone just asked the question. Lady Kate 3 asked the question, how did you get to the point of realizing you needed to be accountable? Um, when me and my wife was about to get divorced, yeah, because I wasn't listening to what people were telling me. Sometimes life puts you in a position where you can only look at yourself. It ain't about anybody else. It was about my wife and I coming to an understanding that our marriage wasn't the problem. We were. Then people want to blame things on marriage, on love. Marriage and love is perfect. It's exactly what it's supposed to be. We bring the issues in. So in the midst of our lowest points of our marriage, 12 over 10 years ago, it forced me to look at me, and it forced me to realize that my actions, my actions have nothing to do with my wife. My wife can't make me be a she can't make me be a good husband. I have to want to be a good husband. And if I want to be a good husband, then she can teach me. Then I can learn from her, from other people, from books, put it into works. That's how I became accountable for my actions. I realized that making excuses wasn't the way. Dr. Ari Vernon up in Cleveland, Ohio. Dr. Vernon says, um, "Don't make excuses, make adjustments." I heard that over 10 years ago, and I've always held on to those words. Don't make excuses, make adjustments. If you be accountable, hey, you know what? I made the mistake. I apologize. What would have worked? What should I have done? How should I handle that? What does accountability mean, especially in a marriage or a strong relationship engagement headed toward marriage? Before I make a decision, being accountable means, hey, let me touch base with the other person first to make sure they know what move I'm making. Most people will say, I'm grown, I can do what I want to do. Okay. Your grown self decide to either ask somebody to marry you or say yes. So therefore, your grown self have really, if you look at it, you forfeited the rights to make all the decisions on your own. My independent women, I love an independent woman. But if you're gonna be independent, don't say yes. It's really that simple. Now it's about being accountable for the marriage, what you play in the marriage, how you make the marriage work. Yeah, we got London in the house. Thank you. Thank you so much. Amanda Fisher 13. Yeah, so and guess what? I gave my wife permission. I asked her for the permission to hold her accountable. But before I even did that, I gave my wife permission to hold me accountable. When I don't live up to the standards of what you want me to be as a husband, tell me. Check me, but make sure, hey, we're gonna do it with respect now. Let me get that right. We're gonna do it with some respect. Soft atmosphere. Tell me, make me understand what you want from me. And then if I don't know how to deliver it to you the way you need it delivered, teach me. Let's role play. Let's have some fun with it. Yes, Big Daddies Forever. Yes, you can watch this. If you go to our, if you subscribe to our YouTube page, you can watch all of our lives as many times you want to. You can share them with your friends and family. Thank you in advance. Someone just asked a question. Amy Medor. She says, "How do you make it work when the husband works 6 days a week and the wife is off work in the summer? Hey, y'all come together and make a plan. Look, anything is possible. Anything is worth working for. Is worth having. Is worth working for. And make that thing. See, in the situations like that, um, set up those date nights. Look forward to it. You already know the person's. You married this person and know their schedule. You know their schedule. The fact that you have a man that works 6 days a week, that means he's a grinder. He doesn't mind working. You don't mind working. You're a teacher. Thank you for your service. But for the summer, it's time for you. Look, any woman that I know will love to have the opportunity to just spend a little time by herself, especially being a teacher. Take advantage of the summertime when you can just have that moment to just relax, read some books, get some peace and quiet, and then your husband come home afterwards. Oh man, he ought to be a happy man and you ought to be a happy woman, in my opinion. But you all sit down and plan that out. I can't tell you what it looks like for your marriage or what it can look like. But if you want some examples or some different perspectives, then go to our website. You go to www.blendedandwinning.com. Go to the bottom of the page. Let's chat. Fill out the contact form, and we'll get back with you. But seriously, it's about communication. And the only way you can be accountable is you have to be able to communicate. And everybody swear that they can communicate. I'm the best talker. I'm the best man. Communication is difficult if you're on different wavelengths. Understand this. We come from two different sides of the tracks as man and women, and then we're male and female. Men talk totally different than women. We communicate different than women. That's our comfort zone. Once we get married, our communication skills they don't they don't stop, but we sometimes we fail to learn how to evolve our communication skills as a husband. Because now I'm talking to my wife, instead of a girlfriend, instead of a um, friend. Now I'm talking to my wife. So my communication skills have to evolve. What does that look like? I don't know. Ask your wife. Allow her to groom you to be the husband that she needs. Allow her to groom you to be the communicator that she needs. Make it fun. This is the thing. Being accountable means you don't mind changing. And when I say changing, I don't mean your wife or your husband changing who you are. I mean you being accountable to allow your spouse to grow you. And as you grow, you automatically change. It's no different than a tree. When you plant that tree, whether you plant seedlings or you plant a little tree, it's going to grow and it's going to change. And see, this young lady right here says, I've been married 21 years. She said he knows if I shut down, the house will too. And see it happens. And let me tell you something. I'm not saying there's anything to brag about, but why shut down? Our name on YouTube is Joaquin and Stacy Loper. If you're on YouTube, Taj or D. Clark Curry, please pin our YouTube name in TikTok. It's Joaquin and Stacy Loper. Because I don't know how to pin. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know how to pin this stuff in TikTok. And yes, we do offer relationship coaching to couples. Yes, we do. Go to our website, www.blendedandwinning.com. Go to the bottom of the page. Tap on the Let's Chat button. Fill out the contact form, and we'll touch bases with you. And I'm telling you now, next week we're going on vacation. We're leaving Wednesday morning, going on vacation. So we're trying to get all of our sessions in by Tuesday, and we're chilling. Hey, we finna chill, have some fun, let them kids spend some of this. Oh Lord, they gonna break me. But hey, it is what it is. They didn't ask to come here. All right, my girl on YouTube, she makes a statement saying that accountability to her is also being able to admit and apologize when you are wrong. Hey, everybody say I want to be a man and I want to be a woman and I want to be grown. Well, being grown and being married means you have to be accountable. If you're wrong, you're wrong. See, this is what I don't realize. This is what I don't mind doing. No different than being in sports, business, anything. If you're wrong, have your moment. Have your moment, but grow from it. See, I always tell people I don't mind being wrong when I make mistakes. Mistakes are things that I don't understand before I go into it. But if I know I'm not supposed to do something, that's a choice. That's more reason for me to go ahead and admit to it and take that ownership. If you win some money right now, guess what? You gonna want your money, right? That's being accountable. No. I won that fair and square. If you screw up, you win this fair and square. See, what one thing I know about marriage, relationships, anything that we get into, we're not perfect at it. But I also have a decision whether do I waddle in my mess or do I grow from it. Be accountable, man. Grow up. I tell men all the time, I want to write a book that it's just saying, grow up. Just grow up. Stop using your past hurts and everything for excuses. Yes, the past stuff hurt. Some things hurt you in your past, but how do you get over it? How do I address it and get the help that I need and stop relying on my defense mechanism? Say, man, no, I'm gonna hold on to it because she hurt me. Well, that's a part of life. We've been married 13 years. If we on TikTok, is my girl Anna on here? I don't forgot Anna's real name, but she was usually the tag or handle Anna something. She's from Huntsville, Alabama. I hope she's on live tonight on TikTok. Woo. Always 95, 96. Man, that's yeah, that's something you all really need to get some resolve on. Steph Medication Mom, we love you too. No problem, Amanda Fisher. Thank you for being here. Once again, we've been married 13 years. Together, known each other 16. Once again, our YouTube name is Joaquin and Stacy Loper. I'm trying to see if my wife is on here. Baby, Stacy, if you're on here, please say something. Yes. So talk to me, people. What issues have you ran into as far as being accountable as an individual, or running into people, or your spouse, or your significant other that's not being accountable? How do you married for 13 years? How do you let petty arguments slide? Um, I don't think you let petty arguments slide. One thing I've come to realize after 13 years of marriage is whenever you do not come back to a situation that's never resolved, or um, we have some kind of conclusion to, it's always a little worse when we come back around that mountain to that same bump in the road. Because whoever comes back to that bump first and brings it up, the other is always going to be like, look, I thought we resolved it. Why are we talking about this again? Because there was never any resolve to it, especially if the argument was petty. And why was it petty? Those are questions you have to ask about situations that we go through. Let me say this about men, whoever's still in here. Sex doesn't fix an argument. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I know I'm stepping on the man code, and I'm sorry. But sex, I don't care how good it is, it doesn't fix an argument. It doesn't. It does not bring resolve to an argument or a situation. For the moment, it does, but we still have to go back and talk about this. Yeah, matter of fact, y'all look here. See, you're supposed to be laying down.
I am. I'm going back to lay down. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. How y'all doing? I'm going back to lay down, babe. I just came out here to see these nuggets you're giving these people. Mm-hmm.
And she knows she ain't feeling good, y'all.
I'm not. That was my problem last night. I wouldn't go to bed. I wouldn't go lay down.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I have this light back here because I'm trying to get a little
Mm-hmm.
light on my little face. I'm trying to look cute because she ain't here. She makes me look cute. Hey, say, look at that.
Whatever.
But this light is gonna bother her head.
Hey, thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm going back upstairs in a little bit. The light, I can't handle all the lighting right now. Whatever. I am. I'm good. Mm-hmm. Somebody said she's your light.
Whatever.
Is he is he
That's a good
teaching
one.
is he teaching y'all some things about accountability down here? Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I didn't properly care for myself yesterday when I got the migraine headache. I should have done what I know to do when I get a migraine headache, and I just did not take care of myself. And I didn't tell Joaquin that I was feeling bad because I wanted us to finish our day. And I wanted us to finish our day and get with our couples as scheduled. So I have to do better when it comes to that.
Thank you, Miss Candace.
Thank you, Candice. Yeah, I'm having one of those migraines, probably one of the worst I've had in years.
What's up,
Yeah.
Stardust?
Hmm. But I'm gonna go back. I've interrupted him enough. I'm gonna go back upstairs shortly and let
Okay.
him.
Well, since you're here,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
baby.
do
What's
just
up?
one question.
Okay, one question.
Um,
Ooh, y'all gotta. Ooh, excuse. Wait, I've been in bed all day.
just use it right up our alley on a Saturday.
Whatever. Hmm.
Country Cowgirl says, how do you get your husband to do what he says he's going to do?
How do you get your husband to do what he says he's going to do?
So basically, how do you get him to be accountable?
How do you get him to be accountable and have ownership for what he said he was going to do? Um, One of the things that a lot of men don't like is for, especially their women, their wives, to challenge them. Look, you said this is what you were going to do. Too often, and this is one thing that you can approach is like, look, you don't like when I say that I'm gonna do something and I don't do it. So therefore, how do you think it looks as a man to say that you're gonna do this and you don't? I need you to step up. Our family needs you to step up and be exactly what you have said that you were going to be for us. And it's about sitting down, having a conversation as to why he won't or he doesn't step up to be what or to be or to do what he said that he would do and be. That's how you have to approach that.
Yeah, that's right, Queen Purple. That's sure what I told her.
Yeah, he did tell me that, Queen Purple. He was like, "How you gonna take care of somebody else if you can't take care of yourself?"
So, another question that was asked of me earlier was,
This one right here. I don't know. Somebody said
Miss
Brenda.
Brenda,
Miss
let me look for
Brenda.
on YouTube since my wife has brought it up. Let me. All right, should a couple have a pre-accountability agreement? Because I have seen it backfire when one is and another is not.
When one is accountable and the other is not accountable.
What do you?
If that will work for your
Yeah,
relationship, absolutely,
yeah. See, because
absolutely.
what you said is I've seen it backfire. That they
Hmm.
probably backfire for that couple. But what does accountability mean? Like, but what does accountability mean to your partner or to your spouse?
Hmm.
What does accountability mean to you? Thank you for the shades. I got some shades.
You
I
got
got
some
some shades. I got some
shades.
shades. Thank you for that.
Mm.
What does it mean to you? Once again, if you say your definition of accountability is this, and their definition of accountability is this, it doesn't make them any less than you. It just means that that's their definition of accountability. Now we just need to raise the bar. Shout out to my man Mike Mosby, raising the bar, making moves that count. My man out there teaching the high school Kansas City football team.
7 on 7.
Yeah, 7-on-7. He's the quarterback coach, man. Shout out to my man Mike Mosby, doing great things, man. Congratulations. Keep up the good work. That's about being accountable. See, when you're accountable, it cannot be ignored. If your spouse is being accountable, make sure you acknowledge them. Make
Yeah.
sure you build them up.
Mm.
This is the thing. And this is the thing. If someone's not being accountable the way you would like for them to be accountable, you can't go with them like you're trying to make them do something or belittling them. It's sitting down, making having that soft atmosphere, and bringing it to their attention and teaching them. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they're not going to get it the first time. Us as husbands and wives, we want our spouses to get it right then, and they should know it.
And sometimes, that
Thank you, Tosh.
whatever. I'm going back to bed in a minute. Um, and sometimes what that looks like, we want them to be accountable in that moment, or they want us to be accountable in that moment. But here's the thing: sometimes what we have to do is like I used to have to do Joaquin this way because Joaquin was real quick to get that monkey off his back when
I told y'all.
yeah, he was so quick to get that monkey off, and he'll turn it around on me, and I'm like, and I just stopped one day, and I was like, why do you do that? I was like, why do you do that? Why is look? I know that. Look, I got some issues that I gotta own and some things that I need to be held accountable for. But I'm gonna need you to take a look at the man in the mirror too. I was like, because you got to stop getting that monkey off your back, and every single time you got to excuse. Well, we wouldn't be here if it was for you, or we wouldn't this if it. Why are you constantly making excuses and not just realizing that you know what you played a part in this too?
Yeah.
Because it gets to a point to where you get tired of that. What you say, babe?
We have Fiji in the house.
Ooh, Fiji. Welcome, welcome. Fiji, the place I want to visit. That's my dream vacation, is to go to Fiji. All right, y'all. This light killing
Dolphins,
me.
are you ready to go?
I'm ready to
Yeah.
go. Yeah, this light killing me.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all. Love you.
Love you. All right.
I'll be probably asleep when you get upset.
Make sure them boys
You want them gone down for bed?
in the next 30 minutes. Yes.
30 minutes. Okay.
Yep. Make sure Max brushes his teeth.
Okay.
All right. All right. So look, y'all got a chance to see Stacy. There you go. There you go. We have a question on TikTok that says, "How do you encourage a man to step up and take responsibility and actually lead his household?" It's a good question. But my first question to you would be, how long have you all been married? Has he ever been the one to be in the leadership mode? Because sometimes a lot of men have tried to lead in situations and they've been shut down and beat down by spouses, not intentionally, so bad, that they just sit back and they try to play a role. But you encourage men to take the lead by, sometimes you have to just lead by example. Period. My wife is led in areas and showed me how to do things several times, especially as a father, um, especially as business my business partner. She showed me how she would like our family led from a holistic standpoint, and then it's my job to say, okay, is that a good fit for us now? How do I incorporate that in the way we move together? See, one thing your man has to understand is that you see him as a leader. That's the first thing. Do you build him up as a leader, or do you tear him down? Does everything he do could have been better? Remember this: your husband and men, your wives, are a direct reflection of who you are and who you've chosen. So I always hear people when I hear women say, "Well, he ain't this," you say yes to him. When I hear men say, "Well, she don't do this," you ask her to marry her. You ask her to marry you. Your spouse is a direct reflection of your intelligence and who you are. So if I'm gonna complain about my wife, I'm not gonna complain about her saying that she's this. I'm gonna be like, man, how can we fix this? What books do we need to read? What movies do we need to watch? What conferences do we need to go to? Maybe what conversation do we need to have over and over and over? My wife and I, we role play stuff out. I ain't even gonna lie to you. We used to. Yeah, and let me say this, country cowgirl, 67. Some people, and look, I know men that they don't want to be bothered for a certain time after they're working. I don't know what their jobs are, but they just want a little peace and quiet, and they deserve that. However, if you have kids and you are married, you forfeited your quiet time. I heard a man say one time, he said he had been on tour for about 3 weeks, nonstop. Came home dog tired, and he said his daughter, 5 years old, ran up to him and said, "Daddy, Dad, I missed you. Play with me." And the wife said, "No, Daddy needs to rest." And he stopped his wife and said, "No, if I have time to give to all these other people that are strangers to me that I'm trying to help build, I definitely have time for my flesh and blood." And I'm gonna say this: if you are a spouse, wives, you are too close to the situation to fix something. Because when you're trying to quote unquote fix your husband, you're really tearing him down and being a nag. And that goes vice versa as well, from husbands to women, to wives. You have to have those accountable people that hold you accountable. My wife was perfect at it. She used to call our accountability partners all the time and tell her what she was struggling with me. And they would call me, unbeknownst to me that they had talked to my wife. They would call me asking me, hey man, what's going on? What we need to grow in today? What we need to do this? Well, have you ever thought about this? And they would use her words to tell me, what I could probably grow in, or I'm having issues with this. And guess what? When I go back to my wife and she says it again, I hear it differently because I've heard it from a different source. Now it doesn't seem like nagging. Now it feels like, and now it feels like a growth opportunity. And yeah, sometimes you have to take it to God. Someone on YouTube said, my husband would only be accountable in words and not actions. But I tell you what, it starts small. Everything starts small. Whether you're looking at a building, a couch, anything that you start building from scratch. It starts small. So if they hold true to their accountability in one area, a small area, you praise them. Good job, baby. Thank you so much. You said you're gonna do it, and I appreciate that. Now they could probably miss the mark 3 or 4 times, the same day or the same week, but you take the opportunity to compare it there and um to make sure you grow him and you build him up right there. Because this is what we do sometimes. Oh, baby, good job on that. But you didn't do this over here, and you missed this, and you missed it. Why we just can't talk about this? We can talk about the rest of stuff later. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm gonna tell you, as a husband, as a man, I'm still growing. My wife we're always working to become one. Sometimes people interpret the scripture wrong when they say when a man and a woman get married, they become one. Yeah, they become one flesh to work together to become one. We're working together to be one. Just because we're together, the only thing that holds us together is me, Stacy, and God. And we're forever evolving as individuals, making sure our marriage stays tight. Yep. And some people don't come from a background of being accountable. Yep. You're not going to fix the problem. Sometimes it's best you just step back and say, "Hey, let the things fall the way they may." Is it hard? Yes, especially for us, our independent women that say, "I can do it on my own." Why'd you get married? And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being mean. Seriously. A lot of times we think when we get married, it's going to be poof, perfect. No. I'm telling you, man, my wife, we've been on about a 6 year stretch now. It's the growth is amazing. I can only imagine where we're going to go to. But were we always there? No. We had to humble ourselves, sit down and say, okay, the first thing we need to talk about are my weaknesses. I don't care what I'm strong at. What are my weaknesses? What can I get better at? That's being accountable. Yeah, that's being able to sit down in front of your wife or sit down in front of your husband and say, hey, these are my fears in marriage. This is what scares me about this. This is what scares me about me. This is where I need help. And it's about you hearing your spouse's remarks and saying, well, baby, I need your help here. And you don't feel like this is important. You acknowledge those things. You have to know that your spouse has to know that their feelings are important to you. And let me say this. I know everyone's both female and male, they're bad at it. If your spouse is talking, allow them to talk and stop cutting them off just because they say something you don't agree with. Allow them to finish talking. Sometimes, as they're telling the story or telling their part, what you're asking or what you're stopping about, they might be able to clear up as they continue to talk. Or if you're going to cut them out, well, how about you do it respectfully? Put your hand up. Hey, excuse me. Hey, hold on. Hey, when you said that, what do you mean by that? Because I don't remember that. Nobody's going to get any resolve doing this. Everybody's my point, my point, my point, my point. What about us? Okay, baby. Well, when talking about this, what can make us better? I think we just told you all. I don't know if my wife wants me to say it again, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. Um, I don't know. I can't remember if we told y'all or not. Anyway, hey, the marriage conference is coming. Check out our website www.blendedandwinning. We had one set up for last year, but COVID hit. But we have a marriage conference or marriage reboot coming up in September. Man, it's gonna be live. It's gonna be lit. We're gonna have some fun. We're going to grow. So please go to our website, check out the information that will be coming. She has some of it up now, so we can go ahead and subscribe to it. Subscribe to it, and you can go ahead and put your dates in, see what it all entails. We're gonna have some fun. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna relinquish saying anything else. Is it in Vegas? No, it's not in Vegas. It's actually gonna be in Mississippi. The first one we're gonna do is actually gonna be in Jackson, Mississippi. We're holding one here in a small one here in Hoover, Alabama, very soon, just to touch base with some people. But we found a location over there that is just plush. It is so. When we bring people out, my wife has taught me we go do it. We go do it nice, plush, or we're not doing it at all. We truly want marriages to have an experience they haven't had before, or they haven't had in a while. We're talking about rebooting marriages and rebooting people as individuals from the jump. Man, it's never too late. And I'm gonna tell you something. When you're the person that's accountable, you can't let your defenses be to the point that it takes you away from who you are because you're not getting what you're giving. I had to teach my wife so many things on how to be my wife. It wasn't the fact that she didn't have it in her. She just didn't have. She needed me to pull it out of her because I needed it for me. But if she doesn't have to use it in everyday life, what's the point of her using it? It's my job to pull it out of her, and vice versa. Man, there were many days I used to sit down in front of my wife, Indian style, and be like, "Hey, baby, talk to me. So, what I need to do here? What I need to do here?" I had to learn my woman as a wife, not as a girlfriend, not as a friend. What pushes your buttons, baby? So when I say this, and my wife hated my sarcasm, and I didn't really know I was well, I was unaware that my sarcasm was to the level that what it was. But yeah, I was very sarcastic. And she had to understand that it was never in any kind of way of being harmful. But I had to be able to admit and say, you know what, I do need to stop doing that. Anything that I do that makes my wife feel bad, it's my responsibility and in my accountability to make sure I tweak that, adjust that. Most people always say, Graffiti, what's up, Graffiti? She's upstairs with the migraine headache. You just missed her. She walked down here for a second, supposed to be in bed, but my wife has to be hard headed. That's who she is. Yes, thank you, Taj. But being accountable is, man, being accountable for being a wife and being accountable for being a husband is when you marry somebody and they start showing you the characteristics that you already knew that were there. It ain't your job to be like, well, I thought you would stop that. No, it's your job to mess around and groom them to be who you need from them to be. And when they do something that doesn't sit well with you, it's not about you barking down their throat. It's about you loving them to who they need to be. And nobody said this is going to be easy. Look, people, nobody said this is going to be easy. Marriage is not easy. If you think marriage is going to fix your problems, man, you have another thing coming. Marriage is about work, it's about growth, it's about being accountable for who you are, it's about being accountable for your marriage. You have to be accountable and say, you know what, I need to stop focusing on me so much and let me focus on my spouse. In my case, let me focus on my wife and see what she needs for me to be. And therefore, I need what I know now what I need to do for me to build the person, the me be the build the husband that I need to be. My wife has never had to help me be a man. Let me be clear with y'all on that. My wife has never had to help me be a man. God took care of all that. And there's nothing nobody can do to change that. But my wife darn sure has helped me be a husband and built me to be her husband. When I want to be a better man, I had to allow other men and other mentors to groom me as a man. My wife can't teach me how to be a man. She can teach me how to be her husband. Just like I can't teach my wife how to be a woman. I can teach her how to be a wife. And you have to want to be a better man in order to put yourself in around other men to say, hey man, teach me what characteristics do I need to build that will help me be a better man. You have to be able to humble yourself and say, babe, what can I do to be a better husband? I have a pair of red and royal blue chinos up there that my wife bought me a few years ago. I've only worn them a few times, but the fact I wore them, man, them things felt so tight. I dropped my phone one time. I started leaving on the sidewalk. It's about communication. Being accountable is about, man, being able to communicate. It doesn't make sense. I can go to a bar. I don't go to bars. I'm just saying, speaking in general. You can go to a bar, to a gym, to a basketball or football game or any kind of sporting event, and you can talk to a total stranger about any and everything. Oh my God, I'm this, I'm that, and talk about this. But you get home to your spouse, crickets. Who's going to be accountable and say, hey, baby, let's talk about this? I don't want to talk about it. I know we don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it. Because it has to start somewhere. And somebody has to be accountable to say, okay, I want to be the change that I want to see, not only in the world, in my marriage. But everybody's always waiting on the next person to do it because if I give in, then I seem weak. If that means me being weak to save my marriage, to save our relationship, that would be weak. You know? Joanne said, What do you do when it turns into an argument?" Sometimes you have heated. We have my wife and I still have heated fellowship, but when it starts getting past a certain point, we have agreed and we understand and we know that it's time to take a break from this conversation. Oh, right, look, let's take five. Let's take five. And everybody on here knows my thing. If we start getting too heated, I start taking clothes off. Now, either this is gonna lead to us, her taking clothes off too, and you know the heat is delivered in a different way, and we come back and have this conversation later, or it breaks it. It gives us a moment to laugh, and it breaks the ice, and we understand we have to calm down. Let's come back and visit this. And the first thing I do, my wife will be is my witness. The first thing I do, regardless of whose fault it was or what it was, if our if our conversation start getting a little too heated, the first thing I do is come back and I apologize. As a man, I'm gonna be accountable for what we have going on. I don't care what she did. I don't care. I'm gonna be accountable. Hey, babe, I apologize by getting a little too heated earlier. That was, I should have just been listening. Even if she said no, it was my fault. I understand, but hey, I could have done something a little better. All right, so where were we? But most people say, I want a strong woman. I want a strong man. But when they exhibit those strong um, intangibles, why does it bother you? Use it to your advantage. Men, hear your wife out. You have to be accountable. It's your duty to hear her out and hear her words and hear her thoughts. Get understanding for them. Women, it's your job. to allow your men to be men. Let them make the choices. And don't be over there, well, I could have did that. No, let him make the choices. And even if he messes up and makes the wrong choice, build him or be there for him. Hey, babe, hey, we'll get it next time. But next time, do you mind just listening to my thoughts, listen to my ideas? The old folks used to say you get more flies with honey than you do vinegar. My man T said, if you have to beg a man for attention, he's not the man for you. A man will always make his queen know that she is everything. That is true. That is so true to a certain extent. See, the comment T just made, he makes that comment from a standpoint of a man who understands who he is, a man who understands his role. But I'm gonna go back to when I first got married 13 years ago, and the things I was doing, the things I did to try to get my wife's attention, I was doing it and loving my wife through my love language, which had nothing to do with what she wanted. So I was getting frustrated with my wife because she wasn't acknowledging me or affirming me because I'm loving her in my way of wanting to be loved. That's backwards. But in our darkest time, when I finally understood I didn't even know what love language was. When I understand there were different ways to love someone via your actions and what you do for them and say to them in a certain manner, realism, oh my God, that was intriguing to me. And then loving my wife became simple. I'm be honest with y'all. Loving my wife became simple. The hard part was learning how to put it into play. That was the hard part. The hard part was learning how to deliver it, and how to continue doing what she needed, what she how and what she needed to be, how she needed to be loved. I'm sorry, y'all, you're a little twisted there, but that was the hard part. And the hardest part was actually tweaking my favorite saying, "This is who I am." Well, who I was wasn't getting me anywhere. So the hardest part was saying, "Well, baby, teach me how to be your wife." I mean, I'm sorry, teach me how to be your husband. And please, if you will allow me to, I'll teach you how to be my wife. See, that was the hardest part. Once I understood it and once I got it down, and once I learned how to humble myself and be accountable and to ask my wife these questions, once I did an act, hey, sweetie, how do you like that? Was that right? Was that how you like it? See, most men want to be like, I know how to love a woman. I know how to love my wife. What if you don't? I'm gonna tell you something else I had to be accountable for. If you all really want to know, I had to be accountable in telling my wife, you know what? I've come to the conclusion that I don't know how to receive love because I never knew how to receive it growing up, and I never had it. And if I did have love around me, I didn't realize it was love or recognize it because I didn't have it on a regular basis. So now I have an issue and I struggle with receiving love. But I'm just saying that's me. I know I'm talking to a lot of alpha men on here, strong men on here. So I'm just talking about me. We've been married 13 years. We've been together 16 years. What's up, Randy Taylor from Flemingsburg, Kentucky? Thank you for being here. What's up, Zookeeper? That is so true. If marriage was easy, everyone would do it. Yeah, everyone would do it. Reality is, um, by show of hands, I don't think anyone on here knows someone that said, "Hey, I'm gonna get married, and I'm gonna get married just to get divorced next year. I'm gonna get married, and I know I'm not gonna be happy." If anybody knows anybody that's done that and got married for those reasons, please put your hand up. See, when you meet a beautiful woman, when I met my wife or any other beautiful woman I met before prior to her, um, it was always trying to gonna say impress them, but I always show my great qualities, my good qualities. And if I did share or um, advertise some of my bad behavior, my bad qualities, they didn't say anything because they were making sure they sealed the deal. Well, I don't like that, but I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to say anything to make him mad or push him away. And I would do the same thing. Now, look, I don't like that. It's my job as a husband. One before we get married, that's why premarital counseling is so important. And if you married now, go back through it. Go back through coaching and understand that, man, we need to talk about my childhood, my past relationships, my past pains and hurts. You ever been played before? How'd that make you feel? Did you play people before? How'd that make you feel? See, nobody want to talk about the ins and outs of why we're here. How do we get to this point? I'm telling you right now, I love being married. Man, being married to my wife is so easy. And I'm gonna be honest with you all. I'm not trying to put myself above any of you men on here, but I'm one hell of a husband. And I ain't saying that to brag. I'm saying that because they're facts. The things I do in this house and for my family were the things I was doing when we didn't have um when I was working 3 jobs and we were barely making it. What I am is a product of grind. I wanted it. And guess what? Even if that means being accountable, saying I have to stay away from my family, I have to stay away from my friends that are bad influences on me. I want to consume myself around people that have been through the fire, who know how to build me, and don't mind holding me accountable. Don't need nothing from me. Problem with some people, we don't want to leave our comfort zone, our surroundings, in order to grow. When it's time to grow, it's time for you to grow as an individual, not as a collective group of people. Because if you mess around and that marriage is over, that group of people don't break up. You are divorced. I wish I wish our premarital counsel would have been much better. Thank you, D. Clark. Yeah, premarital counseling is important. And it's the thing. Being accountable when you're single is just as important, or if not more important, before you get married. The problem I've recognized and I've realized in my life and the things I've seen over our 8 years of coaching, reading a book, you can go from chapter to chapter. The climate of a book can change from chapter to chapter, not your life. You can't say, I'm going to be a great wife, and you don't start trying to act like a wife until 2 weeks before your marriage. It doesn't work like that. I literally started thinking a year out, and I had the time because while I was engaged to my wife, I was actually overseas on a military tour, so I had time to start tweaking my habits. That was an advantage I have over most people. I had a lot of time that I had spent to myself, um, in quiet places, without the distractions. I had people that I could to could confide in. But when you're ready to get married, it's your job and it's your duty to be accountable to yourself and say, okay, what qualities as a single person do I need to make sure I rectify and get rid of before I get married? Because if I don't get rid of them, that's going to be my natural instinctive act to do once I get married. Okay, Anthony Waller. I know some people like that too. Now, I'm not talking about like up north. They're big on that. Up north, or well, anyway, you have people that marry people just to get um, green cars or get out of certain situations. We're not talking about that. When I asked that question earlier about do we know anybody that just got married just to get a divorce? No, I'm talking about people that truly got married because this was their dream. And then when life hits and when marriage hits, they're not ready for it. See, people, please understand this. My wedding day does not compare to marriage. My wedding day is one single event. Marriage, a lifetime. Problem is, people put more time being accountable and putting the work and the planning in for a wedding day than they do a marriage. Period. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Yep, I wish. Oh, thank you. Oh, I love that bird. Thank you for that. Yep. So once again, people are coming in asking about Stacy. She's back upstairs now, in the bed. She's had a migraine since yesterday evening. Probably one of the worst migraines she's had in about 3 or 4 years. The only thing she didn't do was throw up, which I'm thankful for. But she's feeling much better. Um, Going to get some more liquids in her, get her back in the bed for tonight, and hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow is a better day. We are going to go live tomorrow to talk about this accountability piece again with the both of us. I love having my wife's input on everything, so I try to stay away from questions that are more geared toward um, something my wife can speak on. I like to piggyback on some of her ideas because it just comes a little better. Because sometimes I can come off a little brash or harsh, and I don't want think people to think especially females to think that um, I'm belittling them or anything. And I'm be honest with you, being accountable, have to understand this. If we don't know how to be accountable or learn how to be accountable, we can't go back and get that time back. This is one thing. Look, if there's anybody out there that have like youth organization, churches, anything, we are go to our website, book us to come out. I love talking to young people. Man, I wish I'd have had I wish I'd had other men um in my life that could have been more present on a regular basis to speak life into me. To tell me it's okay not to be so defensive. It's okay if people are talking about you. It's not my business to say what they're talking about me. I'm glad that my name is in your mouth. That means I'm important because people that are not important we don't talk about. And somebody even ask, well, what if only one person is communicating? Well, hey, at least somebody's having a chance to get it off their chest, and somebody's having a chance to listen. At the end of the day, the seeds have to be planted. They have to be planted, then they also have to be nurtured. So I can't plant a seed and then with the same mouth that I plant the seed with, go back and pour acid on that. Example: if a woman or a man is telling their significant other, their spouse, I wish you could do this, I wish you would do that, I wish you would do this, and then turn right around and say, but I understand you can't, you're not capable of doing any of that. What? How you gonna build me up and then tear me down in the same breath? When you become a wife, you become someone who's gonna build a man, build him up. When you become a husband, you become someone who's be willing enough to be built up and then pull and bring your wife along with you. But you have to play this part. You have to be in unison with this. See, this is the thing. I didn't need my wife. I didn't need my wife to be successful as a man. I can make moves on my own as a man and make some money and be successful and have some success and some bling bling and some notoriety. I need my wife to be the husband that I need to be. Don't get it twisted. Two is better than one. But I have to talk about these things. Being accountable means being able to communicate effectively. Going back and forth and bickering, that's not communication. That's people talking at each other. I said what I said. You heard me. Did they? That's a good question. Did they hear you? Thank you, Anthony Waller. And it's the thing. And I'm just be real with y'all. Look, that's all we know is transparency. What we've seen in the years that we've been coaching, and what we've seen in our families, what we've seen in our friends' marriages, most people get married for the title. They get married for the title and to give. And I'm gonna be honest with you. What do you bring to the table, man? What do you bring to? I can make my own money. Sex come dime a dozen. I'm gonna tell you, one of the I can't pinpoint the reason that I married my wife. And I love the fact that I can't pinpoint that reason because I don't have nothing to say this is the reason I will leave you. But I know one of the qualities that my wife um, exudes through her just everyday being. And one thing that she did for me was my wife always, or God has blessed her with the ability to make someone better. She loves to build somebody. And she made me want to be better as a man. She wanted me to be better as a husband. In order for me to be better as a man, I had to put the men in my life to grow me. In order for her to build me, I had to sit down and allow her to just speak life into me, even when she was the one that hurt me. That's being accountable. But please don't come into this marriage or come into a relationship thinking, well, I bring money into this or good looks or muscles or I bring good sex into this. Man, please. Come on. That come down a dozen. That should be real. Your body's gonna fade, your looks are gonna fade. But what are we growing in? Do you honor and respect one another? Do you want to be a good father? Do you want to be a good mom? Do you know how to submit? And that goes for man and woman. What is your definition or understanding of submission? We ain't even gonna get into that. You know what? We finna go back to being accountable. We ain't even get into that word, that S word. We ain't even get into that. Yeah, that's gonna start a beehive right there. That's gonna start a beehive. I'm gonna tell you something. Um, when you're accountable and you're able to grow, it builds you in every area. Every area. Man, me and my wife, we have some darn good sex. We have some good sex, man. We work well together. We work well together. It's better than it was when we first got together. It was. It was. Yeah, but we had some rough times too. Yeah, we had some rough times when we didn't know how to be accountable, and we had to humble ourselves and allow people to build us. And those days were scary. But let me tell y'all something. One reason I don't mind sitting up here being accountable and telling you my flaws and our weaknesses, it's those flaws and those weaknesses that we had to work through that are our foundation to our marriage. Yeah, our marriage is not built on rainbows and unicorns. Yeah, our marriage is built on those rough times that concrete, that cement, that nothing can shake us. We've been there. We've overcome that. You can't come with us with minuscule obstacles and think you gonna trip us up. If you come in there with something that's gonna you think is gonna block us, and my wife has more experience in that area than I do, baby, take lead. I got you. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. Or my wife is gonna say, baby, you got this. What you need from me. That's being accountable. Joaquin, I need for you to do this tomorrow by 2 o'clock. Okay, let me make sure my schedule is clear so I can have it done by 1. So therefore, if anything goes astray, we have time to fix it. Can I be real with you and transparent with you? I wasn't always like that. I was out there always trying to make more money for the family, trying to set up plans. Man, we go be rich in 10 years. That's not being accountable because my wife needs me to love her today. Does that make sense? And if I'm setting up plans for us to be rich in 10 years, why am I doing it alone? Yeah, being a husband is being able to work with your wife and allow her to build you and give you her ideas. And you say, man, that's a good idea. One word that I stopped using in my marriage when I talk to my wife is wrong. Please hear me out. This is what I teach all my men that I talk to, and we hold little men conferences and we hold men workshops. This is what never use the word again wrong in a conversation with your wife because she's not wrong. And guess what? Neither are you. Let me tell you why. I'm glad you're listening. This is being accountable. This is being a leader. Hey, babe, what are your thoughts on us doing this? Boom. She gives you her idea. Okay. Do y'all have a son? Yes, we have 2 boys. One just turned 9 yesterday, and the other one is 11. He'll be 12 in September. We also have 2 older daughters. One is 22, and the other is 18, who just graduated high school. Oh yeah, never discuss. Look here, when you have these discussions, you got to make sure everybody is taken care of. Make sure I'm not angry or hangry. Make sure my wife is has some coffee or she's in a good mood. We never have conversations when things are heated. We have to be smart and strategic in what we do. But when my wife gives me her opinion on a subject that we're trying to figure out, and I give her my opinion, then we both have agreed to come together and say, okay, which one of these opinion is best for the marriage and for the family right now? Because neither one of them are wrong. Pro- Problem with most marriages is we come with something and then we try to be like, that's wrong. Well, now you discredit who I am, what ideas I bring to the table, what ideals I bring as a man or as a woman. I tell you, baby, I think your idea is better right now, so I'm gonna take my idea and we go put it on the shelf and we'll keep it for another time. Because as long as we're living and we're married, something else is gonna come up, and this idea that I have right now is gonna be perfect for a time such as then. Let me give you a little heads up, women. If you have a stubborn husband, sometimes the best way to get our attention is to allow us to fail. But we have to fail with your support. Ooh, that's good. Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that. And I'm speaking from experience. Yeah, when I want to do it my way, and I don't want to hear my wife's opinion or her heart, and this is what I tell her: I got this. And you know, what my wife would start saying, learn how to say, "You're right, baby. You got this. What you need from me." And as soon as I fail, she's sitting up and saying, she's like, baby, it's okay. We're gonna be all right. Are you ready to listen to me now? It wasn't, I told you, you this, you. I'm sure not gonna listen to you now. But if you think it, but if you don't think what I just, the example I just gave you will work, it's okay. Do you? If you want your husband to grow or you want your wife to grow, man, just sign them up for a seminar or sign them up for something that's going to grow them. And tell them, hey, I signed you up for this thing. It's on Zoom or it's on the computer right here. Look, matter of fact, we gonna. I don't want to do that. That's okay, baby. I've already ordered you chicken wings. I've already ordered you your favorite thing. Here's your favorite drink. Just sit here and do this. And after you finish, man, we're gonna talk about what you learned, and then I'm going to reward you for attending this class. They go. It's your job to go to the next level in the distance, and as far as you need to get that growth into him. Me, same way. Yes. Well, ask your question. Ooh, Crystal Canade. That's that's probably a question. Go to our website, www.blendedandwinning, and go to the bottom of the form and hit the Let's Chat tab. Fill out a contact form and reach out to us that way. That's not something I actually want to discuss on this live, or that's not. I don't have enough information or time to really speak to that. That's something we need to speak individually offline. Okay. But yeah, look here. I'm not going to be here for about another 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to go up here and check on this beautiful woman that's asleep up here. I know she hasn't taken her medicine. So I have to go up there and be accountable for being a husband. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. But like I said, about another 10, 15 minutes, ask me any question that you want to as far as being accountable. From a woman's standpoint of view, what does accountability look like to you? From a man's standpoint of view, I know I'm going to speak more toward men being accountable, and I know a lot of men are not going to come over here and ask the questions or make the comments that they want to make because of pride. That's cool. Been there. But at some point, in order for you to be the person that you need to be as a man, as a husband, as a father, man, we got to drop the act. If we're on that football field, we'll listen to our coach tell us how to get better. If we're on that basketball court, we'll listen to how tell our coaches tell us how to get better, or other players on the floor. But when it comes to us being a man or a husband, we don't want to listen to the person that's most important to us or the closest to us, which is our spouse. Come on, man. We got to grow from that. I am not. Hey, I don't even go back to my mother and father. They're divorced anyway. But I don't even go back to them and ask them for advice. Their definition of love is antiquated to mine. However, their tolerance is higher than ours are. So there's always something I can learn from them. But me personally, I put people in my life that don't have anything to grow from helping me. The men that I've given accountability and I've given them permission to hold me accountable, they don't get anything out of being a blessing to me, even though I try to compensate them as best I can. There isn't one book that you can read that's going to make you the perfect husband. Even the Bible. That's why the Bible said the description of the Bible said this word is alive. Every time you read the Bible and you live a different day, or you live another day, another month, another year, what you read back then is going to mean something different to what you if you read it again in 6 months or a year. The way you hear your wife now as a man is going to be different. The way you hear her in 2 years, 6 months, 5 years. It's definitely if she's your wife, I guarantee you definitely hear your wife differently than you heard her as a girlfriend or however she started. See, I always tell men, I had a thing in the military that I would tell people, they were like, man, Sergeant Loper, you getting soft, man. I'll be like, all right, I'll be soft to my wife, but I bet you won't put your hands on me. See, most men want to have that bravado of, man, I got this, I'm the man. No, man, please be soft for your wife. And most women have come to the point where they don't want to be soft. They want to run things. I'm sorry, sweetie. For women, that's not your position to run things. And I don't say that in a bad way. As an individual, you can be a strong, independent woman. Yes, you can. And guess what? I'll be the first one to root for you. Kudos. Let's go, girl. I'm proud of you. Happy for you. My daughters who are 22 and 18, we're grooming them. They have their own boutiques, online boutiques. One does hair, the other one, does nails. I mean, look, our girls, we're grooming them to be strong, independent women so that they don't need anyone. The men that they choose, I hope they come in and add something to them. But I also tell my girls, they understand that there are levels to this. Yep. Be accountable. Yep. I'm gonna tell you something. If you are a man or a woman on here, um, if you don't know how to do something in your marriage that your spouse desires for you to be able to add to the marriage, be accountable and learn this. Look, we have too much technology these days. I know men that say, "Well, man, I don't cook. I can't cook." You don't have YouTube, man. Please, you can bake some fish. You can bake some chicken. You can make a salad. You can cook some tacos. Don't make excuses. Make adjustments. My wife will tell you, I am the better cook in the house. Yes, I wash clothes better. I clean up better. I make the bed every morning because if she get out of it last, I know it's not gonna get made 8 times out of 10. Am I saying anything in a braggadocious way? No. These are facts in my house. I'll be honest with you. In the last 10 years, probably a bit over 10 years, my wife has never had to buy deodorant. My wife has never had to buy feminine products. If she has, she's been out of town when she had to do it. My wife hadn't had to buy soap and stuff for the house. I do all that. I grocery shop for the house. Yes, I do all. I remember the first time a man asked me, I had some tampons in my hand, throwing them up in the air while I was waiting in line. And he asked me, he said, man, look. He said, what? He said, man, you in here? She got you picked, huh? Got your hen picked. Every day she got your hen picked. I said, she sure do. I've been picked by the right hen. Y'all remember that country? Y'all remember that blue song? I've been picked by the right hen. As a man, I'm going to be accountable and make sure my wife and my daughters have everything they need to be successful. Period. I know men that won't do that. I know men that don't even know what sizes, tampons and pads and stuff their wife wear. What deodorant does she wear? What works for her? What perfume does she like? And check this out. The things that I do for my wife, I do them, and I'm not even in trouble. Psh, y'all been listening to me. I ain't even in trouble. and I knew I had a feeling someone was going to say that. Man, could you please talk to my boyfriend? Could you please tell that? That's your job. Now, see, people are going to treat you how you. They're going to treat you the way you allow them to. And I always tell people, I don't do the moving thing. We never lived together. I moved in with my wife 2 months before we got married, and that's because I came back from overseas 4 months before we were to get married. But before I went overseas, I let a family friend rent my house out, and she was paying such good money. I didn't want to kick her out when I moved back, so I actually stayed with my uncle for a little while, and then I actually moved in with my wife a few months before we got married, and I was going back and forth from my uncles. But I always tell people when I was single, I was building myself to be single. I knew how to cook. I'm very OCD when it comes to cleaning. I love washing clothes because I love the way they smell when I wash them. So I like things to be neat because I grew up in chaos. So I had to be accountable for myself to say, okay, just because I grew up this way doesn't mean I have to stay that way. So when I got married, it's very easy for me to do the things around the house that most men would say those were women jobs. No. Yep. When I would come back from any one of my deployments, my wife would tell you she never got up with kids. Get up. Now you better lay down. Yep. No, no all of my brothers are married. Yeah, and I don't. They're yeah. Well, all of my brothers are married, but I can only be Joaquin. Yep, it was about survival. That's right. Growing up, it was about survival, and I don't blame that on my parents. Um, those were just the circumstances that were dealt to us at the time. It was about survival, but as we survived, we grew. Yeah, just like in my marriage, we learned from our mistakes. My grandparents on my mom's side were married 58 years. My grandparents on my father's side were never married. Um, don't remember my grandfather that much, but I've seen both sides of the fence. 58 years. My grandmother always said. I asked her, "How long did you stay? How did you stay with my grandfather that long?" I know he a handful, and she said you have in a marriage you have to have a short memory. Are we gonna hold on to the little things? You work through the little things, you grow from them, and you push them out of the way. Stop. Be accountable for your marriage. Stop being accountable for only you. And then as soon as you say as soon as you don't want to admit to something you were wrong in, you always deflect and throw their past or their misfortunes up in their face to deflect off what you've done. Hey, let's just be real. Miss Loper's in the bed with a migraine headache. I was in the Air Force, 13 years. Yeah. Well, look, my time is up for tonight. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Um, Once again, everybody on here that was on here that said a prayer for my wife, thank you so much. I pray that she feels much better tomorrow. She's already feeling better now. For you all that were on here, you all saw her come down for a few minutes, and I could tell she wasn't feeling that well even then, but she wanted to be stubborn as she always is, and come down here and say hi to everyone. Taj, love you too. Thank you for being on here. Graffiti, thank you for being on here. My girl D Clunker, thank you for being on here. Once again, go to our website, www.blendedandwinning. Subscribe to our page there, and you all will see for the area of Jackson, Mississippi. We will be holding a marriage conference there in September. Um, it's going to be live. It's going to be live. What time tomorrow, D. Clark? I'll let you know, but I know it's going to be around 11 or 12. Not sure. It depends on if we may have to make a little trip in the morning, so it kind of we'll let you know. Yes, we will let you know. But yeah, work on being accountable. If you're married on here, sit down and see what accountability looks like in your household, in your home, in your marriage. Have an understanding of what accountability means. Look, get a dictionary out. Ask Siri. See, you have this when people when I say we go to extremes to make sure we have an understanding in our house, that's what we do. So what does accountability mean to you? Well, it means this. And she says, "Oh, it means this." Well, why does it mean that to you? Because this is how I see things. That's how we start getting understanding on things. Okay, babe, what did you say as accountability when you were growing up? I saw this. I didn't see this. Okay. So you mean to tell me that when I don't do this after I've said that, it makes you feel this way? Oh, so that's why you be so mad. Okay. When they say actions speak louder than words, they ain't lying. I mean, they are not lying. Dude, going through our roughest times I'm married, I'm gonna just tell on me for a second before I go. My actions never stopped telling my wife that I want to get better as a husband. I want to be in the marriage and that I did love her. But my wife had to bring to my attention years later that I went almost 2.5 years without telling my wife I loved her. Now, how many of y'all women here can say you can accept that? I'm gonna tell you about me. I'm not gonna try to tell you what's going on in your marriage. I'm gonna tell you about me and my shortcomings. Yeah, yeah, almost 2.5 years. I never told my wife I loved her because of the things we went through in our marriage. I would show her, and she said that's what gave her confirmation that I know he's still into it because she never went without. I'm always trying to build myself, but I'm a big person on words. See, some people can say, "Girl, I love you. I love you." I don't do that. If I don't like you, I tell you I don't like you. If I love you, I tell you I love you, and I mean that. Well, Tiffany can make Alistair, that's a great question. Go back and listen to some of our lives. Go to our YouTube page, which you'll see all of our lives. You can replay them over there all the time. But my wife and I, we went through a period where we were always almost divorced. Yeah, we were almost divorced, and the actions that were shown in our marriage did not reflect what love meant to me. So therefore, before I said those words again, I had to make sure before I said those words, I was sure of it. And not only was I sure of it, I want to make sure that she was worthy of it. But it never, I had to make sure I kept in my forefront of my mind that no matter, just because I'm feeling this way doesn't change the position of me as a husband. Yep. And later on, I told my wife, would you have rather me tell you that I love you and then not show you or put forth the effort, or vice versa? Yeah, so that's how I see things. I've never, not even in junior high or high school. I don't do that. I love you to get affection. If a female told me that she loved me, that was time for me to, pew, I'm out. Can I be real with y'all? I was out because that's not what I was there for. Because I know when you start using those words like "I love you" and I this those that's when the emotions come into play. I know. All right, get them, D. Clark. Yeah, so that's how we do it. So when I talk to men, when I'm encouraging men, and when I'm around other men that are building me, we don't play games. Be accountable. Be a man of your word. If you say you love her, man, what does love entail? What have your if you're a married man, what have your vows? What do your vow entail? Love, honor, respect, protect. Um, through what? Through sickness, through health, um, rich or poor, all the above. But as soon as something come about, I'm done. I'm out. But shoot, you're not a man of your word or a woman of your word. So you're not accountable. Once again, accountability and affirmation and um those mannerisms, they start before the marriage. Word and yes, yes, words have power. If I tell somebody I hate them, man, first of all, you done did something to me for real, for real. But words have power, man. If I tell you I love you, I mean that. And now understand this: there are levels of love. If any people, what D, my girl D Clark Curry out there, when I say D Clark, I love you, girl. See, my level, my definition of love for her doesn't come close to my definition of love and the level of love that I have for my wife. So understand this: just because somebody says they love you, make sure you understand what level you on. Don't read too much into it now. But we can't build on that. Yeah, thank you so much. But this is the thing: most people will hear "I love you" and it goes to their head so quick because they've never had that. They yearn for that. See, I'm gonna tell you, when females just tell me I love you, I know I wasn't ready for whatever level of love they thought they were because I wasn't trying to be on no love talk. Period. And even as people tell me now that they love me, man, I have to get clarity on that. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm gonna always get clarity on what I make sure, so I make sure I understand where you stand. I never had the "I love you" affirmation from my dad when I was little. So guess what? I had to be sure I was aware of it. So when people told me they love me, I didn't jump too far into it, especially with men. My uncle's telling me I love you, man. That was big for me. When we get around other men and stuff, and they love you, bro. I love you too, man. But what does that mean? Can I count on you when I'm in the deepest of a valley in my marriage? Can I count on you to build me up and tell me the right things? See, being accountable is also knowing who to let into your marriage and into your personal space. Everybody's not ready for that. Everybody doesn't have the rights to be around me and suck off my presence. I'm sorry. Everybody shouldn't have the ability or the rights to be around you or your spouse all the time. And all they do is pull from you all and not build you all. I'll tell anybody, my wife and I, we still get counseling and coaching till this day. And we don't need it all the time. Every 2 to 3 months, we go to our mentors and we talk to them about little fires we've had. We put them out, and they actually give us a different perspective on how we were seeing things or how it even came about to be a little fire. Yeah, so don't think because we sit on here and do what we do that no one's above us. No, no. My wife still has men in that I've given accountability. They give permission to hold me accountable. She will call them in a minute. And guess what? They call me, "Blay, bro, what's going on?" No, just had a little misunderstanding. Okay, you need to get it right, man. What's up? We need to talk. And guess what? I stopped doing years ago. Nah, I'm good. When you're accountable, you don't say that. When you're wanting to be accountable to yourself and your family and your wife and others around you, you say, "Well, I just been thinking, man. When she says this, it makes me feel this way." I was in a mood that I don't know why, and this is just how I was thinking, and my mind was wandering here, and now I have another man to actually sit there and speak life into me and encourage me and affirm me to let me know that I'm on a good path. I'm in a good position, and that builds us as men. Iron sharpens iron, and now I can be a better husband to my wife. And what do I do every time I get off one of my one-on-ones with my mentors? I go to my wife and I say, "Hey, babe, I apologize about this. So, what can we have done in those situations?" See, I don't go to her and say, "Well, look, since you called him on me, I guess you happy now." No, you, mean if you have somebody that you have allowed in your life to be accountable for you, and your wife calls them and says, "We're having issues with this, and I need to work on this," do you think she called them to make you look bad or to help build you? So why get mad at her if she's saying that I think you need somebody to help you in this area that's going to help build us? Why get mad at her? Or why throw her under the bus? This ain't about her. Some people ask me all the time, man, you're such a good husband and you're such a good father. Well, I always tell people I'm a work in progress, but I'm a work in progress because I want to be. I don't do the things that I do for my wife because she's going to then in return do something for me. No, I do them because that's my responsibility. I'm being accountable, regardless if she do something in return or not. That's what a marriage is about. You have to go into a marriage to be the best you can be. So, just telling you, I come from a broken home. I watched my father beat, cheat on my mom for years. Um, Out of 5 kids in our household, my father has 12 in all, and a lot of my siblings are right around my age. So when I was 18, I had another brother outside of the house who was 20. Then I had another brother outside the house up under me who, if I'm 18, he was 14, 15. Then another sister that was younger than that. Look, don't allow your past to write your future. No, you use it and you use to grow from it. Do I? Hey, and am I throwing my daddy on the bus? No, I'm telling you facts. I love that man. The greatest thing my father ever could have did for me was he got me here, and from that viewpoint alone, I honor him. Thank you for getting me here. I can complain about what he wasn't and what he was. They ain't gonna change the fact that I had to make a point and I had to put my foot in the ground at some point in time and say, you know what, I need to be who God has made me to be. So that's just me. First of all, I just said I was going to get off here. Let me go. Somebody said stop snitching. Oh, I'm snitching. Every chance I get to tell on Stacy, I tell on her. I'm telling you right now. Every chance I get, let me tell you a story. And I'm gonna get off here. This is about being accountable. Um, about 10, 11 years ago, we was going through our roughest patch, and a couple of my uncles, they love my wife. She would call them, and they would come over there and get on my behind. And you know why they would get on me? Not because she called them. My uncles would always tell me, "We expect more out of you. You're our nephew. We don't play them games." So you have to have men in your life that are willing to check you, not because they're checking you just to make you look bad. They're checking you because they expect more out of you, not only as a man, as their family, as their blood, as their friend. So, back to the story. My wife had a habit of just taking her clothes off when she would get in the shower and just leave them on the floor. Now, once again, I'm telling you, I'm OCD. That would piss me off. And we were getting some of the worst. Why can't you just pick up your clothes? Now, the dirty hamper is about 10 feet that way. So I called my uncle one night and I said, "Man, I'm tired of her. She take her clothes off and she just put them in the floor and she never get them up. And I gotta come home and clothes land in the floor. Man, what you gonna talk to her about? You know what my uncle said? He said, "What's wrong with your hands?" I said, "No, wait a minute. Well, something wrong. Pause. Time out. Time out. Time out. Flag on the play. How is it that my wife can call you and you can come over here and get on me about something, but I call you and say something about her and you get on me?" He said, "Because you're a man. I'm here to build men. What's wrong with your hands? If you're going to be a husband every second of the day." And guess what? My wife and I haven't had a disagreement or argument about clothes being on the floor in over 10 years. So if me doing an action for my wife, just picking up some clothes, being a husband, putting them in the hamper where they belong, brings peace to my house, I'm game. I got you, baby. It's called acts of service, and that's what my wife needed at that time. So guess what? When I spoke to her love language and her act of service, and she appreciated it, then it spoke to one of my top languages, which is physical touch. So when I realized that if I love her through her love language, then I get in return what I want. Oh, this is a win-win. This being accountable thing is all right with me. You gotta learn. You gotta learn how to fight. You gotta learn how to fight fair, but you gotta fight to win. Yeah, and guess what? Sometimes a loss is a win. Yeah, if I lose to if I quote unquote lose the argument to win the fight or to win the war, I still win. Most time people want to be a this is not being accountable. I get the last word in. But one of the last word is more detrimental than the whole conversation all put together. Yeah, being accountable. Allow your wife to vent. I've allowed my wife in moments of frustration to vent to me, even if it's not even directed at me. And guess what? After she vents to me, I don't even respond without asking her this question. Um, so, babe, would you like me to respond to that, or would you like my opinion on that? And she has the ability and the right to say yes, yay, or nay. Okay. Being accountable is understanding this. Sometimes your spouse is going to have to vent and get some frustration out toward you. It ain't your business. It ain't your job to worry about how they coming at you. It's your job to open your freaking ears and listen to the words that are coming out of her mouth. But that's just my opinion. But when I tell you that my marriage is happy, man, I'm happy. And I had other men in my life that I still have in my life to this day that are willing to check me at any point, and they have my 100% um um word that they can do that for me. Because they're not doing it to me, they're doing it for me. And I'm gonna be honest with you all, I need that as a man. I'm be in order for me to be accountable to be the best I can be in every area of my life. I had to understand that if I do things on my own knowledge and my own educated mind, I might be 50-50. Yeah, I might be 50-50. But when I allow people to speak into my life and affirm me and build me, I'm batting about 99. If it was just 100%, I'm batting about 99. Ask my wife. Yeah, I don't need to pat myself on the back. My wife does. So look, I'm gonna get up out of here. Look, my name is Joaquin Loper, and I am CEO and founder of Blended and Winning. Y'all know my beautiful wife, Stacy Loper. Y'all know if she was able to be here tonight, she would be, but she's upstairs in bed with a gruesome migraine headache. Um, I hate that people are just getting on. We will be back on tomorrow around 11 or noon Central Standard Time. And man, we love you all. If you're on TikTok, please go to our YouTube page, Joaquin and Stacy Loper. It's already in the chat at some point. If somebody's in TikTok right now, please pin it back for me. You can watch all of our videos on YouTube on repeat. You can watch them repeatedly. So please go to our website and to our YouTube website and subscribe there. If anybody wants to reach out to us for any kind of coaching, you heard about the marriage conference. And if you're in the Jackson area, Jackson, Mississippi, Hattiesburg, Yazoo, I think Tupelo is close enough to. Man, look, we have a marriage reboot seminar in September. It's going to be fire. Man, it's going to be live. I'm telling you. We already toured the hotel that we're having it at. The cooks that are going look. Yeah, go to our website, www.blendedandwinning. Subscribe to our page there. You'll get all the information there as well. You can also go to the shop site and see the merchandise that we have there, including my wife's book. What else? Without my wife here, sometimes this clothing thing be a little. Oh, D. Clark, you're gonna be there. D. Clark, you go be up in the house. And yes, we actually, my wife and I are marriage coaches. We're actually life coaches. So we do marriage coaching. We do individual coaching, couples coaching, and grief recovery. And we're also business consultants. So we God has blessed us to be in a position to have made some mistakes and grown from them in a lot of areas. One thing about us, we're transparent. We're going to be open with you. We're going to be honest with you. Our job is to help build you. We don't want to waste your time. We don't want you wasting hours. That's just being real. Yep. So once again, if you would like to sign up for any kind of coaching, anything, please go to our website, www.blendedandwinning.com. Subscribe to the website. You'll see what we're about. You can read more about us. To reach us, go to the bottom of the page once you go to that website and tap on the tab that says Let's Chat. Fill out a contact form and email us, and we'll get back with you. I'm going to just be honest with you all right now tonight. As of next Wednesday, the 16th, we're going on vacation. I'm not checking emails or anything until I get back on Father's Day. I'm just being real with y'all. So if you email us in the next 3 to 4 days and we run into some time and we don't get to you by Wednesday, please understand we'll get back to you, but we need a break as well. And I need to get away. So look, with that being said, we love you. From my wife and I can say that we love you. We love you with the love of Christ. Man, we pray that something that I said tonight and God used me to say has blessed you. Encourage you to be better as a man, as a woman, be better for your marriage. Yeah. And I just pray that, man, the words settle in and they sprout and they be a seed. And I pray that it fell on good ground. All right. So look, I'm out of here. Thank you, Terrence, for being here. Thank you, Taj. Thank you, D. Clark. Thank you, Graffiti on here. And look, as always, with a hootie hoo and a bloop bloop. Thank you, Maylee, for the gift. Man, we love you. We love you with the love of Christ. We'll see you tomorrow. Bring your friends. Share our Facebook page. Oh, yeah, Facebook is Blended and Winning. Share our YouTube page. Subscribe to it. Go to our website. Sign up. We'll talk to you later. I love you. I'm out. Gotta go. All right, YouTube. Talk to y'all later.